a lot of their outflows of cash over this period that is creating this trouble and is going to make some of them go bankrupt is linked to concession fees and lease fee payments that they have to make even though they have no tourists. What can African governments do? First, try to discuss with donor countries about creating rescue or bridging pools of money, both for tourism operators and for conservation areas that depend on tourism. Tourism employs about 30 million people in Africa, approximately $60 billion of economic activity. That will be lost if we don't rescue some of those businesses. That spells a lot of trouble, not for the next year, but for the next decade. The second thing they can do, thinking of the next decade, is create endowments. So at least the conservation areas can survive during downturns. People who come to the rescue of tourism activity and jobs in tourism in their countries should have good tax credits for years to come. And countries that do that and are proactive will probably see a quicker recovery than those who don't. There is a huge need for recovery funds or bridge financing, and we're trying to convince international donors and impact investors of the reality that these 30 million jobs in tourism are critical for the future of Africa and for the future of the key ecosystems that provide a huge percentage of our solutions to climate change globally and to biodiversity needs.
I believe that we need to create a financial mechanism around land area and the opportunity cost of what it is not to do another land use, and raising money from big companies to put the money in there, and that is a tax deductible funding, and that goes against their country's sustainable development goals obligation to do 0.7% of their GDP into the developing world. People who don't want to have animals eaten and used and harvested sustainably or unsustainably put their money where their mouth is and pay for it.
If we don't have buy-in of the citizens who own the wildlife and who are ultimately stewards of these landscapes, no amount of funding to government agencies or large conservation organizations is going to amount to anything. So it's very important that the priority is not given necessarily to pure ecological value, but also to viability in the long run of a management option from the perspective of the citizens.